Hi guys, welcome back after a long time to another video. This time on cytopathology. Last time I had approximately 2 weeks back I had posted a video on anemia of chronic diseases, and I had discussed how it was a part of the hematology lecture series where I had discussed what are the features, etc., and iron overload or and porphyrias में difference क्या होता है. It was a continuity of that spectrum. And if you've not seen the video, please go and see. It is not a very long video. It is just a 10 to 15 minutes video where I have discussed just the important clinical and practical points which you will be asked, which you should know as a pathologist, which you are going to see on the slide in cases of anemia due to a chronic disease. Now, I'll be wrapping up cytopathology lectures very soon. This is the second last lecture of that series, and in the end, I'll be taking serous effusions. After that, I'll just finish with cytopath and start with histopathology. I have received a few requests on histopathology where they have asked me, you all have asked me to describe the morphology of the cells, different types of giant cells, different types of pleomorphic cells, etc. I'm going to do that. And if you, when you will start attending the histopathology lectures, you're going to see that it won't be a repetitive lecture kind of a thing. It'll be a clinico-pathological approach where we'll be discussing the overlapping diagnoses on histopathology, where you can use IHC, what IHC to use, what flow to use if it is a lymphoid neoplasm or a hematological malignancy, etc. So I hope you like it. So next, I would like to thank you all for giving so much love to my book, Manual of Hematology. I had inaugurated this book on 1st of July, and that was Doctor's Day. And I am getting a lot of love. Whoever has read this book has appreciated it, and I'm really, really thankful to all of you, to all my seniors also, and my faculty in my erstwhile institutes as well as in my current institute for giving me so much love and support. I am really overwhelmed. Of course, nothing is complete without the support of the family members, be it my husband, my mother-in-law, or my parents. And I have dedicated this book to my grandfather, who's no more, late Dr. R.S. Tiwari. So, thank you so much, guys, for giving it so much love. Those of you who are, interested in hematology and malignant hematology, this book is for you. I have made it in a very point-wise pattern. There's a video introducing this book on YouTube. You can go and refer to that. And this is available on the Ahuja bookstore link. If you type Ahuja bookstores and the link opens and you type, or you type the name of this book and my name with it, you'll get the link. It is just 225 rupees, and I guarantee you that it will reach you within 3 to 4 days. So please, if you've not seen it, I would request you to, those of you who have purchased it, please review it on the Ahuja bookstore website also. I am thankful to you for all the kind words that you've sent me through personal message. I would love to really be obliged if you put it on the reviews also. Those who have not bought it, I would request you, please give this book a chance. It's not very costly, and I'm sure you're going to love it. If you love my YouTube videos, then you're going to love this also. So I hope more people will support me in this endeavor. And to those of you who are really happy with the book and want a benign part of it, don't worry, we working on it, and we'll try to bring it out to you soon. So moving on to the topic now. So FNAC skin is not a very important topic as far as your exams is concerned. It is important in your daily practice. Fine, except some malignant tumors, mostly you won't get it as an exam slide. So the common infections and inflammation that you come across on skin, which you might do in FNA on a sarcoid. A sarcoid has granuloma. So what are you going to see on FNA is a granuloma. You might get some Schaumann bodies, etc., but mostly what you get is a granuloma. Molluscum, etc., viral lesions, abscess will have pus, filaria, you're going to see good filaria. Epidermal inclusion cyst, you'll get a lot of squames, and if it is infected, you'll get inflammatory cells. Gout, you'll get crystals. Tophi, ganglia, you might get those ganglionic cells or neural elements. And if it is a neural tumor, then when you put the needle inside, the patient winces. Then benign tumors, I have shared a case report in the end, which was a case report reported from our institution, where the pinna of the ear had a globular tumor in a 2-month old girl. And whenever we repeated an FNA twice, and what we got were a lot of giant cells and small round blue cells. And we were misled into thinking that it is a mesenchymal tumor with giant cells. We advised histopath, and to our surprise, when the histopath came, it was short-sightedness on our part. It was actually a pilomatricoma. So, these things, that is why I took this lecture actually on skin and subcutaneous. Fine, then you'll get lipomas, you might get nothing or just fat, and that fat might wash off. Glomus tumors, small round blue cells, benign fibrous histiocytoma, you'll get spindloid cells and histiocytes. Malignant SCCs, BCCs, of course, basaloid cells are very easy to recognize. SCC, you will get keratin if it is well differentiated with squamous cells. If poorly differentiated, then of course very malignant cells. Melanoma, mostly you get melanin. Recently, we had a very good case. We'll soon publish it, where there was a child who had a melanotic lesion in the below the knee, a girl, and a mass in the inguinal region, which was huge. And each time the biopsy and the FNA was done, biopsy was done once, FNA was repeated thrice at different centers, and the child came to us. The biopsy showed macrophages and pigments and some spindle cells and inflammation. That's it. It was a supposed lymph node on radiology, a large inguinal lymph node mass. And the FNA only showed pigment and nothing else. Pigment, pigment, pigment. Each time it was repeated. We performed a melanin bleach stain on those pigments, and the pigments washed off. So that was melanin. Unfortunately, the child has not come back, lost to follow up. But one thing that I found, maybe we it was missed, and by the clinician as well as maybe as well as the pathologist, the FNAC of the melanotic patch was not performed, despite the fact that it was nodular and a little above the surface of the plain smooth skin. Maybe if that was done, and it is for 3 years, and everyone is saying, could it be melanoma in a young girl? What I am discussing this, why? Because we are on skin today, and if the FNAC of that patch was done, that melanotic patch, instead of the inguinal mass only, maybe we would get our diagnosis, because no melanoma stays for 3 years, and it could be a dysplastic Spitz or something like that, which we are missing. Unfortunately, we tried to contact the patient for the same, but the patient is not we are not able to contact the patient. So if I get any heads up on that case, I'll also tell you about it. A Merkel cell is basically small round blue cells, and angiosarc and the FSP against spindle cells, pleomorphic cells and angiosarc. You might get vessels, mitotic figures. So let's move ahead with. I will not show you everything, because it is mostly for practical purposes, not important in exams. But still, I'll try and cover as much as I can. So this is our spectrum of the benign lesions. As I said, the first thing that I told you was a sarcoid. So what do you see? A epithelioid cell granuloma. Sarcoid has tightly packed granulomas, no caseous necrosis, a very minimal necrosis somewhere, but mostly no necrosis, and might have giant cells, Schaumann bodies, asteroid bodies, all that. So granuloma, TB, or sarcoid. Okay. Next, now this is you see these lesions on the forehead. Fine, this was cutaneous lesions, multiple papules on the forehead, and this patient belonged to the Bihar belt. And what do you see? You see histiocytes, which have something in the cytoplasm, and the something is leishmaniasis. Okay, so this is another cutaneous lesion that you need to know about. Okay, this thing I just wanted to show you. When I showed you epidermal inclusion cyst, on PAP you will get a lot of squams with inflammation, and on a simple Leishman, what you're going to get, those same squams with a dirty necrotic background. The best way to recognize EIC, most commonly you people must be encountering, is when you put the needle and aspirate the substance. It is thick, it blocks and clogs the needle, and it is smelling very bad. and this is what it looks like on PAP and on Leishman, and this is an EIC, epidermal inclusion cyst. Fine. Now you might confuse this with this. So you can see that this is some sort of an infective lesion. Okay, the background is same, but there are no squams in this. So if a necrotic degenerative background with squams is there, it is EIC. If it is just necrosis, maybe some fungal element is there, some infection is there, then it is not EIC, some other infected lesion. This is parasitic. I think this is, you can see a hooklet over here on AFB stain, and some cells also. I'm not very sure what they are basically, and this is membranous kind of a material. This is again a parasitic cyst. Fine. And this is, these pictures are of various other multiple cases where you see this membranous granular material of a parasitic cyst. Okay, and this is a filaria, and we have to look for the nuclei inside the tube-like structure to differentiate between an artifact and a filaria. Look for nuclei, and in a filaria the tail will have no nuclei, and then you read how to differentiate between a male and a female species. If this is a cotton thread, you might feel that the entire thing is granular. Okay. Then these are all those small round blue cell tumors, or if it is a, say this, all this is mature fat, so this could be a lipoma. This is actually an image of the same case. You can see giant cells and then small round blue cells, and this was actually a pylomatricoma. Fine. This is neural tissue, spindeloid cells. Okay. This is probably schwannoma. You can see collection of the Verroque bodies, etc. Then this is, sorry, that's my, this is something like small round blue cell tumor with a lot of some pleomorphism. Some, this could be a Merkel cell, although there's no molding very evident. So, but this is a malignant, okay, tumor. Then again, small round blue cell tumor over here. So basically, what I want to show is that baseloid cells, or one thing I want to tell you about this thing is that a baseloid cell can also look like this small round blue cell in a BCC. What you have to look for is molding. If there is molding, it is 100% a small round blue cell tumor. If there is no molding, it could be a baseloid tumor, a cylindroma, a spire adenoma. Now this is some sort of an adnexal tumor. Okay, you can see this material pink in the lumen, and then small round blue cells surrounding it. This could be a spire adenoma. Okay, same over here, and then this is the histopathology image of that. So this is an adnexal tumor. This is a malignant adnexal tumor. This you are going to confuse with a BCC, because they also have baseloid cells, and sometimes in spreading due to air artifact, they become small and round and blue. So you need to look at the patient, look at the clinical picture, then interpret your slide, and of course go for the histopath and immunohistochemistry. Fine, then more malignancy, this is SCC. You can see very nicely that these pyknotic nuclei in intense orangophilic cytoplasm. This is glandular carcinoma of the glands over here, the meibomium, etc. See the dirty vacuolated background with high NC ratio cells. Hemophagocytosis mostly is an evidence that there's some sort of malignancy. This is a PAP showing the malignancy. Now you look at this image. The previous image that I had shown you had small round blue cells. Even this image has it, but it has more of pleomorphism and molding. And this is a Merkel cell carcinoma. Okay, a Merkel cell carcinoma is small round blue cell with a lot of molding. Then this could be a hair follicle tumor because of this parallel baseloid arrangement, or this could be a BCC. Mostly it is an adnexal tumor, and you get these sheet-like fragments on FNAC of round blue cells. Separated round blue cells can be Merkel, can be cutaneous infiltration of lymphomas, can be other adnexal tumors. Sheet-like round blue cells are mostly seen in BCC, etc. Squamous C, this is a nice tadpole cell seen in SCC. See, the malignant adnexal tumor can also form sheet, but the sheet will be pleomorphic. In BCC, this is more 3D and uniform. Fine. And then again, sometimes in angiosarc, you'll get this kind of a background with hemorrhage, some tumor cells over here, and these pigmented hemosiderin-laden macrophages. You might get vascular element with the hemorrhage, or vessel or a capillary. This is the paper that I was talking about. Please go ahead and read. This is a very interesting paper where we misdiagnosed pylomatricoma as a mesenchymal tumor in FNAC and then gave the correct diagnosis on histopath. So this